So, Professor Sivakumar, yes, we are recording. Very much welcome to the big audience. I give you the floor to present us the film. Thank you.
I don't know whether the thoughts, words flow out of you from the kind of crowd or the people you see in front of you, but it's all very close friends are here. But still, it's a kind of a conversation we should have had sitting around. But I'm talking little formally. Though I find it little funny, but let it be. Okay, I remember having read about this film because it won the best screenplay in the section of Uncertain Regard in the Cannes 2022. Normally, films that win screenplay in any festival are noted for the best screenplay. I have a special interest for it because that's one of my key subject I always talk, discuss, teach with my students. So what is this? They have written, what a beautiful script she has written for this film. So I was very keen to watch this film when it was screened in Goa, IFFI 2022. And it was screened twice in a small screen at a mall. First I couldn't get, I was very upset, then it was full. Then second I took extra effort to get the seat and I went and so I felt it was worth watching. Wow, what a script it is. It's a very, sometimes when someone makes a very powerful script, uh, sorry, sometimes you sound like a real male chauvinistic pig. And oh my God, this is made by a woman? So, and that's what I'm saying. I talk to myself. I mean, whatever. I mean, like when Susan Sontag, there was a cover story on her in Time magazine. Time magazine wrote, she thinks like a man. What a male chauvinistic statement. Similarly, I thought having watched that, what a beautiful structure, this narrative scripting. Wonderful it was. I was very stunned by the scripting. I really wanted to discuss this with the student, but I haven't had a chance to screen this film to students so far. Here, somehow, sometimes you miss out. It gets okay. Now it's not a. In fact, other day, Ramesh of cinema, that theatre, Paradiso, asked, "Hey, you have got any interesting Palestinian film?" That time I said, no, I couldn't really think of. Maybe after the war and other thing, Gaza thing. And then I thought this also could be a very interesting, but not exactly in the wake of the war, but how it is to be a Palestine. Not only how it is to be a Palestine, also anyone who on par with Palestine because of their geographical position. You are not in a country that you really feel that is yours. That's what it causes because she also mentioning born in Nazareth, very Israel, and they have been, but she's been a Palestinian. That way, the parents were Palestinian, but they were living in the thick of the Israel Nazareth city. Very kind of upper middle class family. She studied. The parents happened to be the Communist Party members there. And obviously, when you have parents who are democratic and highly democratic and associated with the left movements, that has a great influence on you, especially if you choose art and literature. That way she was, though, funnily she studied pharmacist. She said, forget it. Then she went into the literature and writing. And I don't know, she's not she's not from any film school, very interestingly. That's where I was surprised. How did she get that kind of a structure? But she worked as a production designer and on the script committee, on the script team for Ila Sulaiman is a very well-known Palestinian filmmaker, very well-known filmmaker. She worked with him on a film and other quite a few Palestinian filmmakers. So that obviously she had the movie Buck stung her, and the poison went through her. She wanted to make a film, and she made a short, and her first film, Personal Affair, was shown, but it was made with Israeli Film Fund. But she presented it as a Palestinian film. But they said, what the hell, we gave you the money and you put it as a Palestinian film. They put a rule that any film that we fund, it should be presented as an Israeli film, not even as an Israeli-Palestinian film, exclusive Israeli film. Otherwise, return the money. This happened to her for this film. Then they went through, it was banned in the Lebanon Film Festival, this and that. That's a big story. That's why this particular film, she was very conscious. She is not going to get a single paisa from Israel. No thing. She had a real crowdfunding. That's why it took a long time to get enough fund and made this. That kind of a decision, willpower. It comes out of more of your political, stand. That's sometime if you have a chance, watch that Personal Affairs. It almost sounds like an Israeli film, but about the Palestinian who live in Israel. The kind of the psychological displacement problem you go through. The Palestinians are there everywhere, in Israel, outside Israel, and abroad in Europe also. How all this. So it's chosen a family, telling the story of that family. The parents are in Nazareth, but children are in different places, Palestinian, Europe. So how finally they meet, or the distress. Maybe in a way that's extension of this, that idea might have come for the Mediterranean fever next. I don't know. Normally I hate to talk about the depression, but it's a film about depression. In a way, the core of the film is depression. But when you want to make a film on depression, the format she has chosen is a black comedy. Not the comedy, black comedy, because all black comedy means finally we have a tragic ending. So I'm not going to tell what it is, so it would be a spoiler. But But throughout you enjoy it, with the sense of humor and other thing. You feel melancholic about yourself sometimes, isn't it? We all feel it sometimes, I feel. But if you're a very creative person, how you convert that melancholic feeling into a creative work, writing or making a film or whatever it is. So that's a character in this film. In a way, that character reflects Maha Haj. She herself says, I'm kind of a person, always melancholic about myself. So that's what made me to create the main character in the film, Walid. She was really looking for a character who fits that. And when he find this actor, I forgot his name, and I got my Walid. Having seen him, she really developed the character very much. Next, please. What exactly, why this title, Mediterranean Fever? Of course there is. If you go to Wikipedia, there is some definition for it. Don't get into that autoinflammatory genetic disorder. But that is not the film about. It's not a medical film, and this is a highly black comedy with a political overtones throughout. The structure, the scripting, maybe that's why it won that Best Screenplay award. How, the keeping, guessing we don't know what he will do next, what he will do the next. Having created a character like Walid, to bring out what she wants to say, she puts another character, just opposite of him. What if they become good friends? So, that's a very beautiful idea to develop that kind of a script that it is. In a way, this depression is not a personal depression. Maybe go to the next also I will mention. Sometimes I could identify with this depression, being a melancholic, but at the same time, you don't just sit idle because of the depression. You become more creative or more concerned about your neighborhood, your family, people, everything, or you start. In a way, this character is like that, though he's not a writer or a filmmaker like Haj, but almost she's there hidden in that. Uh, Kind of, the mental health and the masculinity, she choose because she doesn't want to put a female character for that would be too much. That's where the masculinity and mental health was an additional factor to give the colors to that character. That Israeli conflict is a very, very important. And now I understand. I have been living in a country where everything is fine. For generation, we have been born in a country living. To understand someone, living as a Palestinian anywhere, for that matter, that she has brought out so well in this. For that, the Haifa. This whole film was shot in city of Haifa. For those who know, it's one of the third largest city in Israel, and where they claim Arabs, Palestinians and Israel Jews are living in harmony, absolute harmony. And very funnily, Haifa has a large population of Russians. Alexander should. A lot of Russians are there, and actually for that there is a character. Suddenly one doctor will be a Russian. Yeah, Russian Jew. So everything she has done, noted very, the kind of a research she has done, and his depression is, how do I say, this kind of a form of depression. Someone who wants to be a writer who doesn't write at all. That's a kind of depression he goes through, but he's so concerned about his children, about his wife, who is only working, sole breadwinner, and takes care of children, takes them to school, pick them from school. But something is eating him up. To cover that only, he acts as if he's writing. It does. Somehow, but finally this neighbor comes, the opposite character, takes the story the way she wanted to do that. And the last one, this Walid character, she herself says, there are two kinds of depressions. One is, it's a functioning depression. You can't be inactive. But you also would be all the time sleeping, lying. Most of the time when you are jobless or depressed home, in the 11 o'clock or the very decent hour, someone calls you up. First question they will ask, are you sleeping? That puts you off. What the hell? Huh? Even the person who was sleeping, these nuances were there in many scenes if you carefully look at it or watch it second time. And I think with this we can discuss more once we see the film. Otherwise it will lead to spoilers getting into the story.